Good day, good people. Relevant Thoughts vlog is back. I'm your guy, Lewis to the T, and as always, I'm so excited to see you, to talk to you, to interact with you. So I hope you'll do the same with me. We are halfway through the year. Can you believe it? Can you believe that we are halfway through the year? We are going into July, and for me, it's been a great success. I am so happy and so proud that Relevant Thoughts has continued this long. It's always me, right? I pop in and out. I have my amazing moments, my thoughts, and it lasts for a couple months, but we are here to stay. I am here to tell you, I'm putting my word on that Relevant Thoughts vlog isn't going anywhere. I am so appreciative of the love and the likes and the sharing and the comments that I've gotten in regard to the June series entitled Pride. I did not expect it to do that well, but I need to raise my expectations, right? I need to expect that all things are going to go well and that the love and the light that I'm attempting to put out will be received as such. So let's just jump right into it. The July series is going to be entitled Relevant Thoughts. You know, how novel is that idea that we're going to talk about relevant thoughts in the month of July? And the reason I want to do that is because I really want to get back to the basics of why I do what I do, why I speak to you guys, why I'm so excited about it all the time. And I really am. It's become one of my favorite words because I realize that helping, teaching, giving, contributing something that is of value and that is relevant, pun intended, is my passion. It's what I enjoy. It's why I do it. And hopefully it helps anyone who ends up watching anything that I do and that they receive that love, that light, and recognize the relevance of their thoughts and the way that they feel about things and that their contribution is valuable. So week one, relevant thoughts. Your thoughts are relevant. It really is that basic and that simple. I feel that people aren't aware of it as much anymore. We've gotten to a point where people really don't want to speak up. They don't want to be criticized. They don't want to be challenged, and they don't want to be attacked. And we've come into a space and a place in our society where your thoughts aren't always treated as though they're relevant, but that does not make them any less relevant. How people respond or react to you is not necessarily your issue, right? You should be mindful of the response that you might get. You should be mindful of, the blowback or, the consequence. But if your thoughts are relevant, you should be able to express them with confidence, knowing that your approach is love and light. And I keep emphasizing that because it's so important. Oftentimes we hear it's not what you say, but how you say it. I would take that a little bit further. It is important what you say. It's important how you say it, when you say it, where you say it, and the environment in which you say it. That's what makes it relevant. You can say something that's true, but may not necessarily be relevant. And sometimes you'll get a response that you're not necessarily looking for, a response that might be a little bit negative because the person, the place, the environment, the people, they may not deem those thoughts as relevant to the discussion. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help encourage people to present their relevant thoughts, those things that are appropriate and timely and add value. Our thoughts, the things that happen in our head, the creativity, the intelligence, all of that goes on before we start speaking, right? So we have our relevant thoughts and then we express them. So for me this week, I really want to talk about, and again, the t-shirt always hints to it. And I love this t-shirt. I don't even remember where I got it from. I have to look up where I got it from. It just has all these black and brown people in these varying colors of hair and textures and background. And it's just expressive of, in my opinion, people just showing themselves as themselves, particularly black people, brown people, people of color. And as you know, I always emphasize, as a black person, as an African-American person speaking for African-American people and Africans in America, I hope that anybody who comes across anything I have to say can receive something from it. But my thought process when producing any sort of content is to help liberate black people. help to express who we are, how we are, and what we are beyond what the media shows, beyond whatever bias or miscommunication you have in your head about who an entire group of people are. That is the job that I've taken on for myself. So in regards to this week's Relevant Thought and the t-shirt that I'm wearing, I really want to talk about the relevance of standing up for and representing Black people in society, in our communities, and in our society. It is so important for our voices to be heard. Looking at the news, hearing about the different legislation in regard to voting rights, looking at what's happening with different cases in the news in regard to the continued police brutality, looking at a story about a young woman, a journalist who made a comment about another journalist. Then we have the story of Sha'Carri, I want to say Richardson. I don't know if that's her last name. I will double check that, and if I need to, I'll add something in the comments to check myself. And how she is not able to participate in the Olympics. And like many people, I'm very conflicted about it, right? We have standards, we have sets of rules. When we don't go through with those rules, there are consequences. Conversely, we have legalized marijuana, and I'm going off on a little bit of tangent in regard to her story. So if it is legal and it is not something that is giving her an unfair advantage against the other athletes, why then is she being penalized and punished? That's an entirely different, story, but the relevance of what I'm saying is that there is a difference in regard to how we as Black people are treated in regard to our mistakes, in regard to our imagery and how we're portrayed. And for me, I'm not as concerned about what happens externally. Hopefully the media will catch up. Hopefully the different TV shows will catch up. Hopefully the movies and the arts and the sciences and corporate America will all catch up. But if they never catch up, what do we think about ourselves? How do we present ourselves? How are we making sure that our relevant thoughts, our voices, and our relevance in general is expressed positively with love and with light from us to each other? And hopefully those looking in from the outside will get a glimpse and begin to change their minds if they so choose. I really choose to focus on what we can do for ourselves, how we can help ourselves, how we can encourage and love one another. It's not to the exclusion of other people, but to the encouragement, the upliftment, and the strengthening of who we are as a people. And so I tend to focus more on what we can do, and I know it irritates people sometimes because I tune out of conversations that focus too much on what can happen in the government and what can happen in business and what can happen in the arts because that's not my concern and that's not my lane. I feel like there are enough people in those areas doing the good work, and I'm so appreciative of them because while they focus on the White House and the Senate and the Congress, while they focus on the Academy and the other awards and the theater, while they focus on the scientists and corporate America, I get to focus on us. I get to bring the conversation back to the space and the place that I deem relevant for us. And the best place for me is to tell us that we matter, that who we are, how we are, and the way in which we present is important at all times. And no, this is not a hint to the bonnet discussion. I refuse to throw my hat in the ring in regard to that discussion outside of private conversations that I have with friends, of course, because it's not relevant. It is not relevant to me as a person who does not wear one to give too much input. I think I can have an opinion, but again, it's up to us. When I say represent, I'm talking about how we live our lives. I'm talking about digging deeper into the information we share with one another. My fraternity brother, my line brother, Ellis, this morning tagged me in a video talking about ownership. What does it mean? Why is it relevant? Home ownership, land ownership. I'm appreciative of him for thinking of me and doing something like that because that's what helps us. That's what builds us. There was information in there that I was not aware of. I understood the overarching topic, but I was not aware of all the things that I found in there. So I'm appreciative of him, and that is what I'm here to do. Encourage people to encourage people to encourage people. Hey, This is a Relevant Thoughts vlog. I'm your guy, Lewis to the T. You will see this video on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and just a snippet on Twitter, because hey, that's the rule. I hope to see you guys again next time. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm out.